Alrighty. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to everyone. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to everyone. We are excited to be here. I am Dr. Akwi Asambang. I am the co-founder and board president of the Pan-African Organization for Health Education and Research. And today is just a big day for us. We are beyond excited. We have our POHER scholars who are graduating. They've completed their year of mentorship. We're sad, but we're happy for them. In terms of the format for today, the program is set up. We'll have our welcome. We'll go over who we are as POHER. Then we would have our keynote by Dr. Kelechi Lloyd. We'll have the introduction of the scholars by Dr. Nancy Kasongo, and we'll have concluding remarks by our co-founder, Dr. Sula Mazimba. For those who are watching in the webinar, please feel free to send us any questions if you have any. For those who are watching on Facebook, feel free to type your comments. What we told the scholars as they were preparing for it today was that, this is their moment to brag. They should not feel shy about everything that they have done, 1, 2, 3, multiple things, whether they have done it, while they're scholars, they've just done it during the whole year. So this will be their moment to shine. So once again, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome everyone. I will start sharing and just go over who we are as an organization. But before I do that, I'd like to introduce our co-founder who can also give some welcoming remarks, Dr. Sula Mazimba. Sula, over to you as I prepare to share my slides.
Thank you, everyone. I think this is a moment that you all need to applaud yourselves for having really gone through a very treacherous year. 2020 was a remarkable year and a year to remember for many things. COVID and the technology changes based on COVID. And through it all, the scholars are here to say that they were able to navigate the treacherous waters of 2020 rather. And so this is your moment. We celebrate you and want to say that, your time is just beginning. And so we want to really take this moment as POHER to just acknowledge the contributions that you have made. Back to you, Dr. Akwi.
Thank you so much, Sula. All right, I will share my slides and we can get started. And can everyone see the slides?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So the first thing I want to do, I know this is usually sort of the last slide, but I just think it's really important, in addition to saying welcome, I think it's just important to start off by saying thank you to everyone. Thank you to our donors. Thank you to our supporters. And we have donors who are donating live. We have donors who, you're mailing your checks. We are absolutely grateful for your support that's made this reality. We're also very grateful for those who are liking, tagging, sharing, following. It's a big deal because it helps us get the message across. So this is our time to also say thank you. We appreciate you. We also want to thank you for your time and your space for allowing us to show up on your Facebook pages. We are super, super grateful. So from POHER to you, a big thank you. And so we also want to thank our volunteers. So these things do not just happen on their own. We do have people in the background who are silently volunteering. We have Moses Adeyemo, who's worked with us for several years and intermittently, he's a registered nurse and a graphic designer, and intermittently does projects with us. We've got Dr. Amira Mohareb, whom some of you have known, provides mentorship and guidance, has attended our various meetings and is always available. We have Hannah Simba, who's been with us and is actively working on, or was working on her PhD in South Africa. So she had also put in a lot of time. And so us as POHER would like to say a big thank you to the volunteers. You are making this happen. And we've got a lot more people that we want to thank. So just briefly about the organization, this was co-founded by Dr. Mazipa and I when we're both medical students back in at least 2006. And our key thing when we started this was, how do we connect Africans in the diaspora to Africans within the continent? How do we provide the mentorship and partnerships that we had as we were coming up? And that's when POHER came about. But it's not only us. POHER is a family, and the board members, we've, most of us have known each other for, I'd say, probably over 20 years. So these are the individuals who are in the background making these things happen. These are the individuals who are on the WhatsApp saying, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? These are the individuals we email, we call, we hang out with. These are the individuals who are making POHER what it is today. And we also are grateful to the advisors over the years who have provided us guidance into what POHER is today. And so in terms of some of the activities, just to give a very, very brief before we get into the exciting work our scholars are done. So we've done many things over the years. So some of the highlights are in 2009, we partnered with an organization of women, Pachi women in Zambia, to help to build an orphanage. In 2013, this is all pre-COVID, we were able to host a Pan-African soccer football, depending on where you are, tournament in St. Louis, Missouri, which was fantastic. We had people from different countries compete. In 2013, we had partnered with an organization in Kenya for a No Sex for Fish project. Please take a look at that when you get a moment. But this is a group of women who are basically teaching women how to fish, so they don't necessarily rely on the men for fishing. And just a little background about that is the program is a way to decrease the HIV/AIDS pandemic. And if you read the details of the story, you'll understand it's a really, really touching story. But POHER got involved because we were able to provide and support for some boats that were used to teach the women how to fish. We've also partnered with an organization known as Fly Spec in Zambia. We made a donation to them several years ago, and this was to help in their flying medical charity. So that's another excellent organization. When you go get a moment, please take a look and read about them. Our annual events, we've been having our POHER Medical Research and Mentorship Symposium. In the most recent years, we've partnered with organizations in Zambia. When we started off, this was an event we had hosted in Zambia as a professional development event, and we plan on hosting this again in the years to come. We've changed the format from in-person to virtual, which is based on the COVID pandemic. We also started this virtual African trivia, which was, led by our scholars, and we hosted that for the first time this year, and we look forward to hosting it again in years to come. So in terms of the Scholars Program, what exactly is our Scholars Program? So our Scholars Program is a mentorship program. And since its inception, we've actually sponsored individuals from various countries across the continent: Kenya, Nigeria, Cameroon, Sudan, and Zambia. And our selection is based on various factors. We look at academic excellence based on the application, social responsibilities, financial needs, the personal impact that this award will have on the individuals. And what we do is we pair the mentee with a mentor based on the interest. And we host events such as a work in progress, where the scholars have an opportunity to talk about their research if they do have a project. And so over the years, we've had variations in the Scholars Program. We've supported nursing students. This was Emanuela in 2012, 2013. We had partnered with St. Jude's Youth Scholarship Program in Ibadan, Nigeria. We had sponsored a student pursuing MSc in geophysics, DVM in vet medicine. We had sponsored a nurse from Zambia in 2013 to spend a month on a clinical rotation here. We've sponsored a high school student from Kenya. And most recently, the three scholars we had were Dr. Nancy Kasongo, Dr. Comfort Asante, and Dr. John Muyutu. Our program would not be possible without our mentors. And so our mentors, just starting from the top, we've got Dr. Martha Manda Mapalo, who's a hemonc doctor. We've got Dr. Alec Nkoma, a gastroenterologist, Keti Munyayembi, who's obtaining a PhD at Yale, Dr. Sandra Chen, who is a pathologist, Dr. Crispin Moya, who's the president of the Zambian Medical Association, Dr. Najib El Tekle, who's a neurosurgeon, Dr. Momen Gabber, who's an interventional gastroenterologist, and Dr. Link Sheets. And some of the scholars will talk about them as they do their presentations. And when we have this program, the key thing with any mentorship program, what I tell the mentees is you, the mentee, are the driving force. In other words, even though we pair the mentees up with a mentor, the mentee has to drive that car, drive that boat, drive that ship, meaning they have to lead the way. The amount of energy that the mentee puts into any relationship of a mentor-mentee relationship is what drives the success of that. And so we also discuss with them the SMART goals. Be specific. What is it you're trying to accomplish? Is whatever you're trying to accomplish measurable? Is it achievable? Is it realistic? And what is your timeline to achieve these goals? So we focus on the SMART goals when we have the mentor-mentee partnerships. And so just to give you a very brief highlight, I just put the slide because we thought it's important just to show you that we provide opportunities, but we don't necessarily drag and hold your hand to those opportunities. So we send messages and they select what they want to attend. Some things we highly recommend and are mandatory, but other things we have them select, and they'll share with you what they opted to go to, what they couldn't make, and things of that sort. And so now on that note, I will pause and I will hand things over to our keynote speaker, Dr. Kelechi Lloyd. And once Dr. Lloyd is done with her, speech, we'll hand things over to Dr. Nancy Kasongo, who will then introduce each of the scholars. And each of the scholars has a presentation. They'll present about who they are, what they've accomplished, and what their goals are. And once again, I'm reinforcing to our scholars, this is not the time for you guys to be shy, because we know in the background the fantastic work you've done, and we need the world to see your brilliance. So please do not be shy, do not hold back. This is, a humble brag, as some may call it, but we want you to brag about the wonderful things that you guys have accomplished, because us as an organization are extremely, extremely proud of everything you have done, everything you continue to do, and everything you will accomplish. And on that note, I will hand things over to our keynote speaker, Dr. Kelechi Lloyd. And for the scholars, a big congratulations. We are very, very proud of you. And I look forward to your presentations. I've not seen some of these presentations, so I'm equally as excited, and we'll be seeing them for the first time as the general public. Dr. Lloyd, over to you. I will stop sharing and hand things over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Asambang. Thank you so much for sharing space with me today. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So Akwi and I have been dear friends for many years, as she alluded to in the beginning introduction part of this conversation. I've known Sula since our time, back at St. Louis University at the Salas Center, where we would meet and have these sort of conversations about how to move things forward. And, these are phenomenal human beings. I've been so humbled to walk with them, especially where it comes to the Pan-African Organization for Health, Education, and Research. And it gives me so much tremendous pleasure to then be seeing this level of culmination or commitments that's ongoing over the years continue in all of the scholars. So it's my utmost pleasure to be given the privilege to address you, our dear scholar for Pan-African Organization, Health, Education, and Research, on this very special occasion of your graduation. You're actually the first cohort of scholars. So we've had scholars and sort of done their thing over the years, as Akwi had mentioned, Dr. Sambang had mentioned, but this is the first time I feel like we've had like sort of this group, this energy, this power of all of these scholars sort of working together in a community. And it is something really to admire, just the amount of hard work, the amount of effort and collaboration that you all have had to do with each other, that you all have had to do with your mentors over the year. Absolutely something to be so proud of. You all should all be so proud of yourself. So you're indeed a phenomenal class, the class of 2021 POHER scholars. What an honor. I mean, to be able to do this amidst the pandemic. I mean, not many people can say that they have accomplished what you've been able to accomplish via Zoom, via other unconventional ways of meeting. It's truly inspiring. So I want you to look around you. I want you to look around, well, on the Zoom screen. I want you to look around the Zoom screen and remember that there will never be a time like this one ever in history. not ever, that we will all be in the same space, all in the same room, and having the same theme of conversation. This is a very special, unique time. Today, you graduate after so much hard working and determination. Today, you graduate. And for this and for all of the many things that you do also in your life besides being a POHER scholar, I salute you. We all salute you. This is a very special day. And as I looked up all the graduates and their resumes, and I'm looking forward to the presentation and their accomplishments, very quite impressive, all of you, all the things that you're involved in, that you're doing. But something tells me that your future is even brighter than the past, than the present. It's so bright, it just twinkles. And I'm excited to see where it goes for each and every one of you. So we have amidst all of us, all sorts of caliber of individuals who they've proven themselves that hard work can bear fantastical fruits in the form of numerous fellowships. Some of us have gotten placements in prestigious postgraduate programs and workforces. You all are truly very impressive, and you inspire me. Now, the world will be changed forever because of your imprints on its tapestry of time. There's no going back now, right? So there's no doubt in my mind that you cannot or will not be able to impact this change that the world is waiting for you to birth. Um, and you will do it as long as you believe in yourself. If you believe in yourselves, then all of the things that the world is awaiting for you to do they can be birthed from you. We believe in you, and now you must also believe in yourselves. You must believe that you have been bestowed the special privilege, the special honor of this cohort, this first cohort of graduating POHER scholars for a very unique reason. It's a destiny that only you, my dear friend, can fulfill for our world. Only you. In order to do this, you must not only believe in yourself, you must take good care of yourself. This is the only way to assure that you have your own self protection and therefore have the ability to give back to our world. A crucial point to note in your journey ahead is this concept of having to balance your productivity, the dreams that you have, the aspirations you have, with self-care. You see, because there will be challenges along the road as you climb higher and you produce and you impact change. Will there be challenges? Absolutely, yes, they will be. The challenges may come in various forms, including your own self-doubt. So as we gather today, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are in the world, to celebrate your wonderful accomplishments, and you know that we're all so excited and jubilant for you, I want you to also know that when all the dust of the excitement of your graduation dances have settled, you, my dear POHER scholar, class of 2021, will stand poised, ready to move forward in the world with courage and stamina. Courage and stamina. This is my prayer for you. And there's one of my favorite quotes by a person called Minor Myers Jr. And they say, go into the world and do well, but more importantly, go into the world and do good. Go into the world and do well. We are happy. We're proud of you. We know you're going to do it. But it's even more important that you go into the world and do good. Let me offer you today a concept that I hope will accompany you daily on your journey in the future, daily on your future journey to make our world better because you lived in it. This is a concept called Hygge. Yeah, it's a funny word. I know. It's really a funny word. And it's spelled Hyggge. Hygge. So what is Hygge? You might be asking. I asked. Hygge is a Danish word, right? It's a concept. And according to Country Living magazine, it has no literal translation, right? And it's pronounced Hygge, spelled differently. And it alludes to this feeling of cozy intimacy and contentment. A feeling of cozy intimacy and contentment. It's about creating feelings of happiness within ourselves, friendliness and well-being within everyday life, not just some days, not just on the weekends. It's about creating feelings of happiness, friendliness, and well-being within your everyday life. It's about finding deeper meaning within ordinary life and establishing a meaningful, mindful connection with the world. Huga. That's what it is. It's not about grand gestures, right? So it's about embracing little luxuries every day in order to foster a sense of familiarity, a sense of comfort and kingship. How do you practice Huga? You may be asking. So I'll give you some examples of ways that you too can begin to practice Huga in your life. They can include things like spending quality time with friends and family. We all know how important our social connections are, right? Data, scientific data upon data proves that, we're protected by our social connections. That's a part of Huga. Another example would be to simplify your life, simplifying one's life, whatever that means for your own life. I don't know. Your simplicity might be different from my simplicity and Dr. Sambang or Dr. Mazimba's simplicity, but finding a way to simplify your own life for yourself, whatever that means, then don't deprive yourself. Don't deprive yourself. It's okay to indulge in good things in life, the things that make you happy. Again, that will be different for each and every one of us, right? To not deprive ourselves, but indulging ourselves in good things that are going to actually truly make us happy. Getting outside in nature. It's also another uhugaristic practice. Be fantastical in getting outside in nature. It has fantastic benefits in our physical bodies, in our emotional bodies. So let's do it. Go outside, enjoy some nature. Pick up a book. And I'm not talking about your workbook, your scholar's book, your research book. I'm talking about read for leisure. Books have a way of being able to allow us to create a sense of familiarity, and even awe, where we can travel to distant places through books, right? We don't have to go there. There's a pandemic, but we can travel through books to these places and these ideas and concepts and times. And it creates a sense of familiarity and togetherness. Not to mention, it's really cozy to just like be wrapped up in a book. It's another tenet of Huga, this idea of creating coziness and familiar spaces that are joy producing. Put down your phones, scholars, and all of us. See, because even though it helps us connect, we also know that there are deficits to extremely being socially connected. Huga is about embracing experiences fully and living fully in the present, right? And so if our phones are allowing us to do that, I guess so, sure, but typically they don't. And so whatever it is that's going to allow you to embrace your experiences fully and presently and fully live in the present, that's what we're urging you towards. That is Huga. So, my dear friends, I urge you now to continue your investigation into what your own practical Huga practices could be, while imagining all the wonderful benefits this will bring into your own being. You, my dear graduating class of POHER 2021, you mean a lot to us. We have all invested in you, like we talked about, the volunteer, to the POHER presidents and founders, and to the board members. You got a village supporting you. You mean a lot to us. You mean a lot to our communities. You mean a lot to your communities. You mean a lot to our continent, Africa, which is why we have this program in the first place. You mean a lot to Africa, our homeland, and you mean a lot to the world at large. You have been poised to take up the baton, to move us all forward towards the next milestone, whatever that may be. You have the baton. Now you're going to help move us all forward to the next milestone. Just know that you, as scholars, have our support, and the POHER board and the members as a whole. We will continue to provide that support to you as you journey. Keep your contacts with your mentors. Give back. Consider coming back and being on the board someday, as you really are truly the future. We stand with you wholeheartedly to cheer you on this journey. See, because again, your success is also our success, right? When you succeed, we all succeed. So please allow me to congratulate you, the dear class of 2021 Pan-African Organization for Health, Education, and Research. Let me be the first to wish you a Hugoristic life. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Kelechi. This is like really emotional. This means a big deal to us. It really does. I'd like to hand things over to Dr. Nancy Kasongo. Nancy, we've known her for the longest. Nancy is a force to reckon with. She's got just amazing energy. She was the first recipient of the University of Missouri Columbia Global Health Research Elective, and she spent time at the University of Missouri, and she represented us. She is an ambassador. I remember the year when she traveled, she had 3 or 4 international abstracts. She was hopping, I think, from Rwanda. She can tell where she was hopping from country to country over such a short period of time. She is now one of our board members who is just running things in the back as well. I couldn't say enough about Nancy. She's an intern or a medical doctor at the Levi Mwanawasa University Teaching Hospital in Zambia. So Nancy, I am going to hand things over to you. So you could then proceed and introduce all our scholars. Nancy, over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Akwi. I'm really excited to be here and to be presenting our 2021 scholars. They've been a really talented group of individuals from across Africa. So this year we had 10 scholars. And to begin with, our first scholar is from Nigeria. She has a keen interest in adolescent health. I'm really proud to introduce Dr. Deborah Adedibu. Deborah, the show is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Nancy. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we could see you.
All right. Once again, let me welcome everybody to 2021 First Scholars Graduation Ceremony. It's been a great ride, and I'm sure other scholars agree with me that we've had a phenomenal year. Like Dr. Nancy said, I'm Adedibu Deborah, and I'm an intern doctor at the Opeoluwa University Teaching Hospital Complex in Nigeria. And I actually started out as a first scholar in my final year medical school. And I had some goals that I wanted to achieve as a scholar. So I wanted to learn relevant research skills. I wanted to start a career in adolescent health, and also get the resources and tools that I would need to apply for scholarship later next year. During the course of the year, we scholars had the opportunity to moderate certain sessions. And my very first session that I moderated, co-moderated with Opeoluwa Makinde, and it was on pursuing an MPH or PhD and getting a scholarship. And there were so many things that we learned, and it was also an opportunity for me to meet Ms. Chatiem, because it was after that session that she became my mentor. And it's been an amazing year, talking about schools, applications, and all of that. And I went on to also moderate the session where I hosted Dr. Natasha Sichula. We had a sit down on adolescent and youth health in Africa. And it was amazing to have somebody who was doing the exact same thing that I was looking to do. Sit down with them, interact with them, have the opportunity to ask questions, and also to have like an open communication with them even after the session. And that is just one of the many things that were given to me this year. POHER sponsored our scholars to take on courses, and we took this global health course that was offered by the University of Stellenbosch. And at the time when we were all applying, we didn't know how demanding and engaging it would be. It spanned 10 weeks, and we had to do this webinars, do assignments, but it was worth it. We were exposed to lots of topics, and we had the opportunity to network too, because it was taken by people from all over the world. So it was an opportunity that POHER gave to us scholars. I also took a nano course on public health that was offered by the Harvard School of Public Health, and that was also an eye-opener. Over the year, I had the opportunity to publish one of my works in the IFEMED journal, which is the medical school journal from my medical school. And I have a pending publication in the Nigerian Journal of Adolescent and Child Health, which should be out sometime early next year. Throughout the year, I had 3 presentations, and a funny story, all 3, the acceptance mails for all 3 presentations came in within the space of 3 days. So first day I saw an acceptance mail, I'm like, oh, okay. And then the second day, another acceptance mail, and the third day, another acceptance mail. All right, so the first one I'm showing on the screen was a conference organized by the Association of Youth and Adolescent Health here in Nigeria. And I couldn't participate personally because it was happening during my final exams. But a member of my team was able to present, and the work actually won the best poster presentation, which was such a feat. And then I was able to present at the POHER Symposium in August, and it was, well, I was nervous, very nervous, but it was great. And it was some sort of preparation for the presentation that I did last month at the IAH World Congress, that's the International Association for Adolescent Health, last month. And I was sponsored by POHER also to be able to attend virtually and also to present my paper there. And it was such an honor to be able to participate in adolescent health on such a big platform, and also to meet people with like interests and like mine. So I'm grateful to POHER for that also. So what's next? Like I said, I've been learning and gathering resources and tools to apply for scholarship next year. So I hope to apply for scholarship next year. And I'm currently applying for a grant, and I hope to apply for more grants and fellowships. Also, out of the 3 papers that I presented this year, 2 are already full manuscripts. And I hope to publish the 3rd one, to write and publish the 3rd one next year, and also participate in more research work and present them and publish them to make a difference in adolescent health. I would also love to continue to participate actively as a POHER alumnus, and I look forward to keeping up the friendships and the relationships I built as a POHER scholar with fellow POHER scholars and my mentors. I'd like to end this presentation by saying a very big thank you to my mentors. I had Dr. Kelechi Lloyd, Dr. Akwi Asoman, Dr. Nowbuth, Ms. Chatiem in my corner. And when I say I have people in my corner, there are people who believe in me and were always looking out for me. I mean, Dr. Akwi would send me a mail of an opportunity. Have you seen this? You think you could apply for this? And it's an amazing thing to have people looking out for you and people who are there to help you succeed and help you move on to the next level. And I had that, and I'm sure all POHER scholars had that too. And it is what has contributed to us having such a great year and with all our achievements. So on behalf of myself and all the other POHER scholars, I want to say a very big thank you. We are better people, and our community is a better community because we're POHER scholars and because we were sponsored by POHER. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Deborah. That was a really exciting presentation. So our next scholar is actually all the way from South Sudan. He's still a medical student, though he goes to school in Malaysia currently. And when we asked him about his experience as a scholar, he said it helped him to consolidate his career options. So our next scholar who's graduating today is Chany Chatiem. Chany, are you online to tell us about your experience as a scholar?
Yes, Dr. Kasonga.
All right, you can go ahead. We're really excited to hear about your experience.
Dr. Kasonga, can you confirm you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and we can also see your slides.
All right, thanks.
Chany, are you still there?
Thank you so much, Dr. Kasonga, for the kind introduction. My name is Chany Wicgoal Chatiem. I'm a 2021 forest scholar from South Sudan. And I'm also one of the fifth-year medical student at Mas University, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. On the other hand, I'm a co-founder and chief operating officer at TEDdy Africa. TEDdy Africa stands for Transformative Education for Development Initiative. It is a registered social enterprise operating and based in South Sudan and Kenya. TEDdy intervenes in women and youth entrepreneurial development. If you can kindly check out or visit us on our website, that would really be great to learn about what we do at teddyafrica.org. I'm also a founding member of Genovine Health, which is a social media platform providing health information and also fostering a health-based discussion among South Sudanese community. At the uni, I'm also one of the founding members at Mass African Society, and I'm also the president for South Sudanese Translation in various Malaysian universities. All right, so this slide will particularly shed more light on this year as my experience as a forest scholar. I will highlight on some of the interested activity I've participated in. So notably, the short courses, conference, and workshop attended, and also session and activity I moderated. So being part of POHER a scholar this year, I was able to attend a virtual academic surgery conference and also a grant writing workshop pursuing further studies of postgraduate opportunity in navigation. And the most exciting session for me was Introduction to Global Health, a short course offered by Southern University in South Africa. So I've also moderated 2 sessions during my time as a scholar. I've moderated African Med School trivial competition, preliminary rounds of featuring the country of Zambia, Cameroon, and Nigeria. And I've also moderated during my time as scholars for education series in mental health, focusing on erectile dysfunction and prostate cancer. Unfortunately, like many of my colleagues have done, I wasn't able to publish any of my work. I was involved in some research project in the uni, but I did them during my free clinical phase, so I didn't present them or went ahead to kind of work with my mentors to publish any of them. But I have a lot of research proposal in progress, which is a work in progress, and I'm hoping to engage and collaborate in future with my primary mentor, Dr. Tulam, which will be descending down on some research project in Uganda and South Sudan. By then, I will be back home and will be able to collaborate in future. And I am hoping on also working with as being a board alumnus, I'll be able to present my work and be given a platform to present my work in the near future. So this also a slide so by UCL Surgical Society, and the most part for me was the experience I had with course opened by selling because in South Africans, reaching my career as I work with my primary building communication.
I think we just lost, did we just lose Chany? Chany,
Sorry, I had a technical.
Okay, no problem. You want to try and share again?
Be back in a bit. So.
Okay, no problem. Should we move to the next scholar and then come back? We can come back to you, Chany. Or if there's a suggestion about turning off your video. Why don't we, Chany, I don't know if you could hear us. There we go. Okay, and then just turn off your video. Maybe that would help as well.
Dr. Zaman, can you hear me? Sorry, I had a technical issue.
No problem. We could hear you. And then maybe if you turn off your video as you present, and that might help. But we can hear you and we can see your slides.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry for that technicality. So overall, being a poet scholar this year has helped me consolidate my career goals, choice, and aspiration. So with my network, my back online, I'm very sorry. My network is not favoring me. So what's next for me? So the next step on my journey is medical internship, as I will be graduating next year. In Malaysia doesn't provide vacancy or pathway for foreign medical interns. So I'm looking forward to go back home or elsewhere in East Africa. So I'm working with Dr. Nial Tulam, who is my primary mentor at POHER, to map out alternative pathway for me. And I'm also looking forward to be actively engaged with POHER as an alumnus and engage with everyone as POHER. My fellow scholars I met over the year, and all of you at POHER, our mentors.
Thank you so much, Chany. I hope that everyone is getting inspired by all the wonderful things the scholars are doing. And right now we're going to move on to introduce our next scholar who's graduating today. So our next scholar is based in Nigeria and her name is Opeoluwa Makinde. Opeoluwa, the floor is yours. Are you ready?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much.
All right.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Okay, can everyone see my slide? Can you all see my slides?
Yes.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So my name is Opeoluwa Makinde, Dr. Opeoluwa Makinde. I recently graduated from Wicgoal University and now work as an house officer at the teaching hospital complex of the same institution. My particular professional interests are health administration and medical research. At the start of the program, my goals included or were not limited to building relationships, learning research skills, and participating in active research, developing a clear career path in public health, and being equipped to pursue it, acquiring the skills and necessary knowledge I need in order to pursue this career path that I'm interested in, and also developing other soft skills that make me a better doctor, a better researcher, and a better person as a whole. So amidst the several activities organized by POHER, I participated in POHER webinars, trainings, other online webinars, trainings, and informative sessions as were brought to us by our mentors, as were informed about by our mentors. And also I participated in the POHER African Medical Schools competition. So amongst this, I co-moderated with Deborah Adedibu the POHER webinar on pursuing further studies, MPH, PhD scholarship, and financial assistance. And I also co-moderated the final round of the 2021 POHER African Medical Schools Trivia Competition, which was quite interesting, actually. It was a very interesting learning opportunity for me. Amongst the trainings that I attended and got certified for was the short course on Introduction to Global Health by the University of Stellenbosch. This was a particularly intense 11 weeks training or program, short course. It was more involving than I had anticipated. I'm sure a lot of us can comment about that, but it was also a very pivotal learning opportunity for me. We had to do a lot of writing, a lot of deep thinking in writing and doing assignments and turning in assignments as we were asked to. There was a lot of reading also. We're giving materials to cover things and help us understand what global health entails as a whole. So it was a very, very interesting one for me. I also participated in safety planning intervention for suicide prevention, a skills training organized by Brown University, and also the Virtual Academic Surgery Conference at the UCL Surgical Society. I remember this one particularly because although it was a very lengthy training, there was opportunities for networking, and I got to meet people from all over the world, medical students just like myself at that time, and got to connect and network people that I still keep in contact with. And then the Leadership Advocacy Summit was another interesting one for me because I'm very much interested in leadership as a whole. One lesson I remember I learned particularly was empathy as a leader. There was this particular session on empathy, and the person who took the session gave practical examples on how to go about that, and I really learned from that training. So for the papers and presentations I was involved in during the course of this year, First was the breast. I completed my paper on breast health examination awareness in undergraduate students in mixed method approach. I collaborated with other POHER scholars on writing a paper on antimicrobial resistance from a One Health perspective, a systematic review. And I also did a paper on level of implementation of COVID-19 guidelines and compliance of staff of Obafemi Awolowo University in Nigeria to this to the COVID-19 guidelines. This was done in the university where I attended at the time. I had the opportunity to present papers at the 2021 POHER CBUS-OM Yes Zambia Annual Virtual Symposium, and also at the Second World Conference on Public Health in 2021. So what's next for me? I believe strongly that to whom much is given, much is also required. The program has opened my mind, has improved my confidence. Dr. Akwi says, do not self-reject. One thing I know I used to suffer from was self-rejection. Like, I just think to myself, why should I apply? It's not like I'm going to get in. Like, people are applying from all over the world. But now I apply for anything and everything that I have interest to and is relevant to me. And surprisingly for me, I get in. Like, I've experienced one rejection. There was a paper, there was an abstract I submitted for a conference and it was rejected. But subsequently, things I applied for, I get in, and this has actually boosted my confidence. So I intend to join the POHER alumnus and continue the organization in whatever capacity that I can and I am allowed to. I'm going to continue my housemanship at Obafemi Awolowo University Complex. I'll be taking a training organized by International Agency for Research on Cancer, which is a research leadership training program by that same organization. I would be in the 2022 cohort. I intend to pursue a master's degree in public health, engage in further research and publications, and maximize opportunities as they come my way. Opportunities to give back, opportunities to help people, opportunities to actually inform people of bigger opportunities out there. This is one thing I know I already do. I tell students, younger colleagues around me that there's this opportunity. Don't get too engrossed in schoolwork and forget that there's actually life outside school, things that you can do to further build your career. So thank you very much. I want to say a big thank you to my mentors, Dr. Akwi. You've been awesome. You've been amazing. You've been so patient with me. I am really, really, really grateful to have met you, to have worked with you, Dr. Nihil Tutlam, Dr. Martha Mapolo. Thank you. Ms. Ketty, thank you so much for being patient with me too. I know sometimes I can disappear, but you all have been amazing to me. The POHER board members as a whole, thank you for this opportunity. I know as an individual, you have changed my life. You have opened my mind. You have boosted my confidence. And now I'm confident in what I have, my potential to learning and what I can become. And my fellow colleagues, 2021 POHER scholars, you all have been amazing. Anya, Deborah, Chany, Derrick, Debbie, Yvan, Mwenya, every one of you have been amazing. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the jokes. Thank you for everything. Thank you for listening to my presentation, all the audience. Thank you.
Wonderful presentation, Opeoluwa, and we wish you all the best in all your endeavors. So if you're interested in finding out what we're doing as POHER, you can follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and you have links to trainings or conferences that will be happening soon. So our next scholar who's graduating today is based in Zambia, which is where I am. So the most prominent thing we've heard about him is that he wants to be a pathologist. So our next graduating scholar is Derrick Musole. He's a medical student at the Copperbelt University. Derrick, are you ready? Derrick, are you there?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right,
Derrick,
the floor is yours.
Derrick, do you want me to share your slides for you?
Yes, you can go ahead, Dr. Akwi.
Okay. and then just tell me when to move forward, okay?
Okay.
All right, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Derrick Musole, and I'll take you through my journey as a 2021 POHER Scholar. Next slide, please. I want to tell you briefly about myself, about Derrick Musole. So I'm a 2021 POHER Scholar, and I'm a final year medical student at the Cobalt University School of Medicine in Zambia. And I'm also the founder and chairperson of Terrible Disease Tuesday, TDT. You can follow our page on Facebook. And I'm also the president of a student-led association, which is called Tomorrow's Health Professionals Community Outreach Association. You can also follow the page on Facebook. So over the course of the year, we've had a lot of activities as scholars, and I was privileged to participate in several activities. So to begin with, I'll talk about these 4 activities here on this slide. I was privileged to take part in lectures which were teaching us about introduction to research. We had a series of lectures of which we had different experts coming in. And then we also were privileged to have grant writing workshops where we were taught how to write proposals for grants. And here we are grateful to Dr. Messi Mumba who facilitated this. It was a series of workshops that we had. Then we also participate in weekly GI conferences, which were arranged to us by Dr. Anson Bang because she's a consultant gastroenterologist. So we had conferences from Brown University and also from other associations such as ECHO. We still actually do participate in those. And then I was privileged to also be part of a workshop which was talking about how we could obtain funding from for PhD and MPH programs, where POHER organized MPH and PhD candidates who came and talked to us, those who are based in Europe and in the US. Next slide, please. And also, I was privileged to be among the people who attended the workshop by Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, workshops on safety, planning for suicide prevention, and also for collaboration of outcomes of using social media in oncology. So for these workshops, there were skills workshops of which we were doing our practicals in our home hospitals. So for me, I was doing at Ndola Teaching Hospital, whatever we do in the workshop, a virtual workshop, and then I go and practice it at my hospital, and then come back and find it. And I was also privileged to attend the virtual ultrasound course by the Center of Ultrasound Research and Education at Massachusetts General Hospital. So this was arranged by the emergency department at MGH, which was very interesting and we learned a lot. And then also another great thing that I did was participate in work in progress presentations. Here we presented our research work. Personally, I presented my school research work, malaria research I did, and also the other research work which we did as a POHER team. So also POHER holds a monthly educational series of which I moderated the session called The Journey of a Pathologist. I was actually hosting 2 of my mentors, my primary mentor who is Dr. Sonia Chany, who is a pediatric and surgical pathologist based in the US, and also Dr. Nkengeh, who's the state forensic pathologist. So these are really inspirational to me, and I was really delighted to host that. Also, other activities that I participated in were the Leadership and Advocacy Summit by the American College of Surgeons, and also the Virtual Academic Surgery Conference, VASC 2021. So these 2 are very helpful. The Leadership Summit highlighted to us many, the VASC conference also went a deep dive into being an academic, but in the field of surgery. And then through my mentor, Dr. Chany, I was able to attend the Pathology Open House meeting, where several specialist pathologists based in the US and also the postgraduate pathologists were there to tell us about pathology and the different specialties that are there in pathology. so that we have a clear direction as medical students and about where we'd like to go. And recently I attended the hepatitis B virus cure, HBV cure 2021 virtual workshop, where I learned a lot about the recent treatment modalities of HBV. So yes, again, I was among the few scholars who attended the short course in Introduction to Global Health at Stellenbosch University, Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, Department of Global Health. As my friends have alluded to earlier, this was an overwhelming course, which we thought would be very easy, but then it was quite challenging. But at the end of the day, we managed to grasp some concepts of global health, such as global health priorities and sustainable development goals, and also One Health, among others. I was also privileged to submit an abstract of my malaria research entitled Assessing Health Workers' Compliance to Malaria Rapid Diagnostic Tests to Guide Clinical Decision-Making in Selected Clinics of Ndola in Zambia. So here I presented my research, my abstract, and I got 3 awards. I was the overall best and also I won the and I was given the certificate of attendance. So this was one of my major achievements this year, and I'm grateful to my mentors who helped me throughout the whole process. And next slide. Another great achievement that I had this year was to present at the largest cancer conference, which was IOTIC 2021, that was held from 5th to 10th November 2021. So this is a biannual conference that is held by the African Organization for Research and Training in Cancer, IOTIC. So here I got to submit my research work, of which I did with my POHER team. I was the principal investigator, and the study title was Mapping the Availability of Pathologies to the Cancer Registries in African countries. So I was able to participate, and I interacted with a lot of specialists, learned a lot about cancer and different kinds of cancers that affect different parts of the body. So these are just few of the things that we did. We actually did a lot of things more than this, but these are things that I could highlight within this time given. So what's my next step? Firstly, I would like to continue working on my projects, which I'm working with my mentors, and also keep working on my manuscripts for publication. I did manage to do it within the time frame that I had planned to, because of how busy school would be. But then I'll continue working on them. And then I would also like to be actively involved as a POHER alumnus, and also pass on my knowledge to the other medical students, and also other people would be willing to learn from me. And then continue building my career to achieve my goal of becoming a pathologist, of which my friends usually call me Mr. FRC Path, meaning fellow of the Royal College of Pathologists. Next slide, please. I would like to pass my sincere gratitude to the Pan-African Organization of Health Education and Research for this opportunity given to me to become a scholar for this year. The knowledge that I've obtained this year is really massive. I'm a different person right now. It's many thanks to the president of POHER and the co-founder, Dr. Akwe Ansomba, who has been a mother to us, a sister, a friend, a mentor, everything to us. She's been there for us and pushing us to achieve our goals, even when I would feel like I'm inadequate for the task. So, but she would busy push me to tell me, no, you can do this, Derrick. And also many thanks to Dr. Sula Mazimba, the Vice President, for the support and for the help rendered, and Dr. Seth Bloom. Dr. Bloom has been very critical, especially in the work in progress meetings that we would have. He would give us constructive criticism on our research work. So we are grateful to him. And also Dr. Kasongo Nancy, who is the first person who became my mentor. She picked me when she was still a final year medical student, and introduced me to POHER and to the research world. So I'd like to say thank you to her. And also to my fellow scholars who we worked on different projects with. We've interacted throughout the year. We just turned from being scholars to friends to colleagues. So I'm grateful to you as well. And to my family, friends, and my loved ones, I'm very much grateful to you for the support. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, POHER, and all the best to my fellow scholars, and congratulations. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Derrick. We're really excited about all your achievements. And thank you so much to everyone who signed up to this webinar, and those of you that are watching live from Facebook. Thank you so much for coming to celebrate with all our scholars. So our next scholar that's graduating today is also based in Zambia. She's a medical student at the University of Zambia, and she is passionate about women's health. Mwenya Musonda. Mwenya, the floor is yours. Are you there?
I think Mwenya may be caught up, so maybe we can move to the next person.
All right. So the next scholar also graduating today is also based in Zambia, and she's a medical student at the Copperbelt University, Miriam Mwape. Miriam, are you online? Okay, I'm sure.
I see her. Miriam, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I'm online.
All right, are you ready to share your slides and share your achievements? We're really excited, want to see what you've been up to.
Okay. I'm having some difficulties with sharing my slides. I'm kindly asking if they can be shared for me. I had sent them.
Right. Dr. Akwi, could you please share the slides?
Sure, no problem. Let's see. Maybe you can go to the next person as I pull up her slides.
All right, so our next scholar graduating today, we had 10 wonderful scholars who have done really amazing work. So she's originally from South Africa, but is studying for her medical degree in Zambia. Well, antimicrobial resistance, like research, is synonymous to this scholar. So Anya, Avis, Nowbuth, the floor is yours. We'd like to hear about your experience as a scholar.
Thank you, everyone. I was just chatting with my fellow scholars behind the scenes, and I literally just told them that my slides are not as impressive as everyone else. So I hope everyone can see my slides. Oh, it's glitching. Okay, so hi, everyone. I'm Avis Anya Nowbuth, and I'm a Pan-African Organization for Health Education and Research Scholar 2021. I'm also a final year medical student at the Lusaka Apex Medical University, currently completing my clinicals at the University Teaching Hospital. This year, I've been doing a lot of work on antimicrobial resistance. I think this is quite synonymous with me, as mentioned by Dr. Kasongo. Some of the research that I've been doing or that I've been spearheading is a systematic review on antimicrobial resistance in Zambia. And from that, we got multiple presentations. So I got to present my research at the University of Missouri, Columbia, the Summer Research Forum, at the POHER, CBU SOM, and Yes Zambia Annual Medical Research and Mentorship Symposium. Last year, I also got to present another study on nanoparticles and characterization at the 2020 Zambia Health Research Conference. And then I also got to present my research on antimicrobial resistance at further 2 international meetings, which was the International Meeting of Emerging Diseases and Surveillance and International Society of Infectious Disease, as well as the GW4 Multidisciplinary Approaches to AMR, the Pandemics, Practices and Innovation, which are held by the 4 top universities on antimicrobial resistance in the UK. That was quite an exciting time for me. And from there, we managed to get 2 publications. One of them is still under consideration. And one of our abstracts have been selected for a special supplement for infectious disease, the International Journal of Infectious Disease, which is quite a prestigious journal. So I'd just like to quickly say a quick thank you to Dr. Akwi Asambang, Dr. Nkengeh and Makinde, and Dr. Sheets, my supervisor, for all the assistance and help with regards to these abstracted presentations. I also managed to, as we went through the year, I was also awarded the Millennium Fellowship as well as the Campus Director, which was held by the United Nations Academic Impact and Millennium Campus Network. This was this was about 25,000 applicants, and only 2 universities in Zambia were selected from it, of which 11 from my university, and I got to be the campus director, which was a great opportunity. I was also able to be, I was also selected as the top 200 young South Africans in the health category by the Mail and Guardian's 200 young South Africans. I also managed to get somehow the European Congress of Clinical Microbiology and Infectious Disease Outreach Research grant recipient in order to attend their conference as well as present there, and the keynote symposia, the scholarship recipient for malaria in the area of COVID. I was also able to secure a scholarship or grant recipient to attend the ASM for the Royal Society of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene. So those are just one of my most favorite accomplishment I found this year. I was able to, I was awarded the Missouri Zambia International Research Elective for the Global Health elective, where I managed to go from Zambia to all the way to the University of Missouri, which was sponsored by the University of Missouri and POHER, and I got to present and do my research. This was probably one of the most stressful times because we didn't know if it was going to happen with all the travel bans. Some of the activities that I got to moderate this year, there were quite a few. The first one was selecting a subspecialty or a specialty, where I got to speak to Dr. Olinke Wariola, Dr. Kabwe, Dr. Marai, Dr. Mutebi, and Dr. Mwachiro from 5 different countries. And we spoke about what is the process of getting a specialty, how do we approach mentors, how do we find something that we're interested in. I was also able to moderate the mental health awareness and having a conversation with the expert, Dr. Soraya Sidat. She's a psychiatrist from Stellenbosch, and she gave really important information about mental health. And I think that's just a good thing to remind ourselves right now with all the ills that are going on in the world. One of the other activities I got to moderate was a webinar with Dr. Daryl Gray on the do's and don'ts of mentorship. And this was also quite a great opportunity for all the scholars and I, as we got to know, how do we seek a mentor? How do we align with one who's able to give us all the goals or direct us with everything that we want to accomplish within our career plan? It's been very helpful as well as a POHER scholar to be connected with mentors that are for you and back every opportunity that you want to do. Further than after that, I got to moderate the social media and medicine, the do's and don'ts by Dr. Mohammed Bilal. This was quite an important one for me as well, because I then went and started all my social media pages to address antimicrobial resistance across Africa, and specifically or with the focus on Zambia. And I think this is a really nice platform, or there was a really nice conversation to have, because so many youth are engaged with the social media platforms. I also got to have a chat recently with Dr. Omondi with breast cancer awareness, since we had, and how to talk about patient engagement and tracking. And then I also managed to moderate the African Medical Schools virtual competition, which was the first in the POHER series, which we're hoping will continue in the following years. But I think that was a really nice collaborative effort amongst the scholars, as well as the countries and medical schools in Africa. So those were some of the activities that I got to moderate. Some of the conferences that I attended. So I realized I attended a lot of conferences, so I've just listed some that were relevant to the research that I'm doing. So these 7 conferences I attended and got to present at, some of them were either related to antimicrobial resistance or infectious disease. So I got to attend the European Society of Clinical Microbiology and Infectious Disease, where I was awarded a scholarship to attend, the keynote symposium of malaria in the age of COVID, the International Masterclass of Antimicrobial Resistance with AMR Insights, the Royal Society of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene, the annual meeting, the One Health in the 21st Century Conference Center for Global Health at the University of Oslo, the International Meeting for Emerging Disease and Surveillance, the International Society of Infectious Disease, where we got our an abstract published, as well as the GW4 Multidisciplinary Approaches to Antimicrobial Resistance Practices and Prevention in the Pandemics. These are some other conferences I got to attend. Some of them which I thought were quite interesting or that we were invited to was the World Health Organization meetings, where we talked about specifically COVID-related management, patient deterioration, training sessions, and things like that. Some of the extra things that I got to do this year, which was a great opportunity for me as a POHER scholar, was I got interviewed by the University of Missouri's Office of Undergraduate Research. That interview can actually be found on YouTube if you'd like to go and check it out. It's just an idea of what my research entailed and the systematic review and the findings and the process that we went through it. I was also able to be a co-author for another research project that was within the POHER, one of the other POHER scholars that got to do. I launched a foundation or a program called I Am Responsible. So you can check it out on Twitter. It's called AMR Africa, where we just basically find information, discuss conversations, innovation about antimicrobial resistance, again, specifically to Zambia, but then broadening it out towards the greater context of drug resistance infections in Africa. I also attended the United Nations Youth Forum at the ESOC Youth Forum this year. It was all virtual. And then, as mentioned before with my other POHER scholars, was the Global Health Certificate course that we did from the Stellenbosch University. So my next steps, I have 3 current work in progress, which is the assessment of knowledge, attitudes, and perceptions of AMR in undergraduate medical students in Zambia. We're currently on the we're currently doing data analysis on this, and this is part of my CBE project for medical school. Another project that we're doing is a comparison of Zambian students to the medical school in Missouri, USA. We're also in the process of data collection for that, which is quite exciting to already see the differences in perceptions and knowledge and attitudes towards the different drugs and the understanding of antimicrobial resistance. And then we recently had a research and mentorship symposium. So a couple of non-POHER scholars and I are busy working on the educational impact of such meetings in Africa, which is going to be quite a collaborative effort, and it's quite exciting to be a part of. My next step as well is I'm going to jump from an MPH and go straight and apply for a PhD in public health. And then obviously I want to dominate the world. So as you can see, I'm chilling and thinking about that. That's a joke, by the way, just in case. But first, I also just want to say a big thank you to all the POHER scholars as well as the mentors. I know that for many of us, I'm really looking forward to sustaining all the friendships and connections that I've gained from this experience at POHER. And I just want to say I've frozen. A very big thank you to all the board members at POHER, as well as my personal mentor, Dr. Lincoln Sheets, who's at the University of Missouri. So I know it's a very sad time that this is ending for us as POHER scholars, but I also know that our POHER board members, Dr. Akwi, Dr. Bloom, are celebrating with us, and I'm sure they're going to be as excited to let us bother them for the rest of probably our lives. Congratulations to my fellow POHER scholars, and if anyone would just like to connect or keep in touch with me as well, you can find all my details, or if you, I am available on email and Instagram and Twitter, but please don't forget to have a look at my antimicrobial resistance work, as well as looking at discussing and continuing some collaborations in the future on AMR_Africa on Twitter. Thank you, everyone.
Well, thank you, Anya. This is really exciting. And by the way, Anya achieved all these things while she was still a medical student. So this is really wonderful work that the scholars are doing. So Dr. Akwi, is Mwenya's presentation or Miriam's ready? Or can we move on to the next scholar?
We can do Miriam.
All right, Miriam, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Miriam is a medical student at the Copperbelt University in Zambia.
Over to you, Miriam.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Miriam Mwape, and I'm a 2021 POHER Scholar. I'm also a final year medical student at the Michael Chilufya Copperbelt University School of Medicine. I am also currently the 2021 Vice President of Tomorrow's Health Professionals Community Outreach Association. And also just a backstory, something I never talk about. There's a point Dr. Akwi had shared a conference on women in leadership, and I took that up and I got to listen to exceptional women like Mzinga Melu, and that's when I decided to try to apply for that, and I was picked as the vice president. So thank you very much. I'd also like to thank you, POHER and the POHER board, for this wonderful opportunity that they've presented to us. Thank you, Dr. Akwi Asombang, and everyone and all the other mentors who took us in and ushered us through this process. It's been a very overwhelming experience, and it's exceeded my expectations. Also, so some of the highlights that happened over the course of the year, we got multiple learning opportunities. We had wonderful exposure and networking. We had great career guidance. And this was not only restricted to the fields we're interested in. I'm happy that we also had to encounter other fields and were given this broad spectrum of what's out there. And before I go further, I'd also like to congratulate the other scholars who took part in the program with me. You guys are a great bunch of people, and I'm grateful that I got to meet you. So some of the activities that I took part in over the past year, I attended various conferences, and there were a lot, so I couldn't squeeze all of them here. So including but not limited to the Virtual Academic Surgery Conference and the HPV Cure Conference. I also attended research conferences and grant writing webinars. I got to learn a lot, even things I didn't know about before. I didn't really know about grant writing. Initially, I thought research scholarships was a straightforward thing, but we received a lot of mentorship through the various groups, and I'm grateful for that. I also took part in various educational series, and part of this, I moderated the conversation on mental health and understanding stigma associated with mental illnesses like HIV. This was a very great eye-opening session, which took part yesterday, and I'm grateful that Dr. Naim Dalal took part in it with us. So I also took part in various educational courses, which are including but not limited to the virtual ultrasound course, Harvard Public Health Nano course, Stellenbosch Introduction to Global Health. I particularly enjoyed the Stellenbosch Introduction to Global Health and the Harvard Public Health Nano course because it opened up my mind to what global health really is and what public health is. And it also opened up my mind to the fact that medicine isn't just patient-centered. There are a lot of factors that are involved, and that's why we as the future medical practitioners have to fill up a lot of spaces because policies and everything else can affect the overall medical field. I also got to present my abstract, which is on hydroxyurea therapy in the management of children with sickle cell disease. I was assessing the knowledge, practices, and attitudes amongst clinicians at Arthur Jefferson's Children's Hospital. And I also saw the African Medical Schools competition come to light. We had our first African trivia competition, and it was just great to see how everyone came together to make sure that this came into fruition. So my next steps, obviously, I would want to continue as a POHER alumni. I'm grateful for the opportunity that was presented to me. So as a way of gratitude, obviously we have to pay it forward. And also I'll be graduating from medical school, in 2022. And I'm hoping to learn more about research and to further work on my manuscript and publish it. I'm also hoping after my medical degree to pursue a master's in public health. I'm also hoping to pursue a course in infectious diseases with a focus on HIV. And I'm also hoping to become an advocate for sickle cell disease, HIV, and also mental health. I'm also hoping to take up a more active role in charity work and a lot of things that may come my way. I would also like to take up leadership positions and whatever can be there. So I really just want to thank you, POHER, for the amazing year that has been given to us. Thank you, Dr. Akwi Asundang, and thank you to the POHER board members and all the other mentees who've been with us throughout the year, who've been cheering us on and backing us up. Thank you so much.
All right, that was a really nice presentation, and we're really excited about your accomplishments. We wish you well. So our next scholar graduating today is actually from Zambia, but based in the USA. She's currently working as a cytotechnologist at Northwestern Memorial. And if you go online and Google her, you mostly see her work that she does in women's health, Harris Empowerment Zone. So the thing that will spark you about her is her charisma. So our next scholar that's graduating today is Natasha Sichula. Natasha, are you online? Are you ready to share with us?
I am. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, and congratulations to all the POHER scholars that are graduating with me today. It's been such an amazing journey. And unlike the other POHER scholars, I am not a medical doctor yet. So that's what I'm going to talk about for my next steps. So I don't know if you can see my presentation right now. I'm going to start my presentation. Okay, so my name is Natasha Sichula. I'm originally from Mufulira, Zambia, and I did my undergraduate degree here in the USA at Wicgoal College and the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where I graduated with a bachelor's degree in cytotechnology. And about me, I'm a POHER scholar, obviously. So I'm really excited for this platform that has given me the opportunity to network with other students, to learn more about research, and to also get to know different doctors and different student doctors, which is something that I've always wanted to do. I'm a cytotechnologist at Northwestern Memorial Hospital in Chicago, USA. I'm the founder of HER's movement, Her Empowerment Raison, which is a nonprofit organization that is centered towards empowering young women with menstrual health hygiene management products and keeping them in school, as well as encouraging them to get an education to be the person that they want to be. For me, education has been such a powerful tool in my life, and I am where I am because of education and the people that have been around me to mentor me. I've also won a lot of awards as a change maker and as a leader. Most notably, the one that I'm very much proud of has been the Geraldine Kobe-Zilla Award from the American Society of Cytopathology. And also, last month, I was in Las Vegas attending the American Society for Cytopathology conference, and I won a scholarship from the board. So I'm really proud of the work that I do and the people that help me to become the person that I am. I'm passionate about women's health and education, and I want to see a lot of women being empowered to do the things that they really want to do. So some of my activities as a POHER scholar, I have been able to moderate a lot of panels, thankfully, to POHER, and I've made different students and different inspirational leaders. My most important one was about mentorship, because when I was coming into this program, I didn't really know how mentorship looks like. So I wanted to find out how can I be a better mentor and how can I pass on the mentorship information that I learned to the people that are going to come after me. I also moderated the session on HIV and AIDS. And I'm also thankful to Derrick, who did a presentation about mapping the availability of pathologists to registries in African countries. I am also passionate about being a pathologist like Derrick, but I think he's overly passionate than me. And I am so grateful to have such people in my life. What are my next steps? My next steps are to write the medical college admissions test, which is the MCAT, so that I can attend medical school soon. I want to become a cytopathologist, and I want to advance my humanitarian work. So in this photo that is right next to my presentation is Dr. Naya Ritu. She's one of the most inspirational cytopathologists in the world, and I'm so grateful to be working with her at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. And I also want to continue being a key member of the POHER alumni. So thank you so much to the board members and the POHER scholars for making this wonderful journey for me.
All right, congratulations, Natasha. It was really nice having you as our scholar this year. For our next graduating scholar, comes all the way from Cameroon, and we all know him as the GI doctor. He also received a grant this year from the Royal Society of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, graduating today as a POHER scholar, Davy Nkengeh. Davy, are you online, ready to share your accomplishments?
Yes. So please, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much, Nancy, for giving me the floor. So I am Nkengeh Tazinkeng, fondly known as Davy. Before joining POHER, I was a medical student at the Faculty of Health Sciences, University of Buea, and now I am a medical doctor a junior medical doctor at Solidarity Hospital, Buea. I am a Cameroonian, a POHER 2020 scholar, and hopefully I will soon be an alumni. And my interests are in gastroenterology, hepatology, global health, and research. So during the course of the year, I participated in so many research projects, the first of which is mapping the availability of pathologies to the cancer registries in African countries. This was led by a fellow scholar and my very good friend Derrick from Zambia. And we had this research accepted and presented at AOTIC 2021 as an oral presentation. I also participated in evaluating the trends of pancreatic cancer publications in Africa and correlation with GlobalCan observatory data. Unfortunately, this was not accepted, but it was a very good learning opportunity for me. The third research project was antibiotic resistance from a One Health perspective in Zambia, a systematic review, which was led by my best friend, Anya. And as she earlier said, she has presented this in so many conferences, and this research is currently awaiting publication. The next is I had 4 abstracts accepted and presented at the just ended American College of Gastroenterology annual scientific meeting, the first of which was prevalence and factors associated with hepatitis B and C in an urban health district in Cameroon, West Africa. The second was a systematic review on pancreatic cancer in Africa. The third, evaluating trends of colorectal cancer publications in Africa and correlation with GlobalCan epidemiological data. The last was Helicobacter pylori eradication rates and antibiotic resistance patterns in Nigeria, West Africa, which was led by one of our POHER mentors, Dr. Chukwudike Evaristus. And most recently, we submitted an abstract on the impact of H. pylori antibiotic resistance on eradication rates in Africa. So we have submitted to DDW, which is the biggest gastroenterology conference in the world, and we are expecting positive results. So with respect to webinars, I led I was a co-moderator on the colorectal cancer in Africa, a discussion with experts, and I co-moderated this session with POHER alumni, Dr. Comfort Asante, and I was also the moderator of the World Hepatitis Day 2021, a discussion with Professor Olufunmilayo Lesi. So this was our presentation on colorectal cancer in Africa. I had the opportunity to interview Dr. Katzizira, a renowned gastroenterologist in Zimbabwe, Dr. Alan Rich, who is the clinical director of Division of Gastroenterology at Brown University. That is where Dr. Akwi worked. And I also had the opportunity to talk to Dr. Altise, Dr. Ahmed Fauzi, and Dr. Abdi Mohammed. This was a presentation on well hepatitis that I think is one of my best experiences so far, because I had the opportunity to be on the same table with Professor Lacey, who is the coordinator of viral hepatitis programs at the WHO office for elimination of HIV/AIDS, viral hepatitis, and sexually transmitted diseases. With respect to conferences, I had the opportunity to attend the American College of Gastroenterology annual scientific meeting as a virtual participant, although I was supposed to be in Las Vegas. Thanks to COVID, we could not get our visas. I was also opportune to attend Digestive Disease Week, which, as I earlier said, is the biggest gastroenterology conference in the world. I also attended the conference on liver disease in Africa, one of the biggest GI conferences in Africa. Through Dr. Akwi, I also attended the Society of Gastroenterology and Hepatology in Nigeria annual meeting. I was a participant at the POHER Copperbelt University School of Medicine and Yes Zambia annual symposium. Also a participant of the Virtual Academic Surgery Conference 2021, and I'm a regular participant at the Brown University weekly GI Grand Rounds and Journal Club and the Massachusetts General Hospital Division of Gastroenterology weekly Grand Rounds. With respect to certifications, I also earned the certificate of completion of the Global Health Short Course at the Stellenbosch University, South Africa. And thanks to my wonderful mentor, Dr. Akwi, I am a registered member of the American Society of Gastrointestinal Endoscopy, the American College of Gastroenterology, the GI Sub-Saharan GI meeting, that is the GI Eco Africa, and the Royal Society of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene. How did I get into the Royal Society of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene? I won a £5,000 grant to conduct a research on the approach towards diagnosis and management of Helicobacter pylori infection among primary care physicians in Cameroon. So this came after one of our meetings, and we had this session with Ms. Cynthia Hayden on introduction to grant writing. So after this, I met Dr. Akwi and I told her I wanted to put this knowledge into practice. So she gave me the assignment, we wrote the grant, we presented, and we were successful, and we are currently conducting this research. The best of all, recently I was made research assistant for global health programs in gastroenterology at the Division of Gastroenterology and Hepatology at Massachusetts General Hospital, USA. All thanks to my fantastic mentor, mother, sister, and friend, Dr. Akwi. So for my next steps, the next steps, research-wise, I want to wrap up these projects. Epidemiology and risk factors of colorectal cancer in Africa, a systematic review and meta-analysis for which I am the principal investigator. Evaluation of gastroenterology training in Africa, a cross-sectional study, also the principal investigator. And lastly, management and outcomes of colorectal cancer in Africa, a systematic review and meta-analysis. For this project, I am a co-investigator. Also, I'm already a POHER ambassador, and I'll be POHER ambassador for life. I look forward to collaborating with my mentors on research and GI programs to complete my manuscript. I've applied for masters in research-related programs in the UK, and I will continue working towards my dream of becoming a gastroenterologist. So I want to say a very big thank you to my mentors. Firstly, Dr. Alec Nkoma, who is a gastroenterologist in the UK, and he was very instrumental in me getting the grant. Secondly, my mentor, Dr. Akwi, who has taught me the basics of everything I need to learn in life, and she has put me on the spotlight repeatedly. Thirdly, I want to thank Dr. Bloom. I've always said it to Dr. Akwi and Anya in private, that if there's one thing I want to have in life is to have the brain of Dr. Bloom. So I'm going to say it today in public. Dr. Bloom, you have been an amazing inspiration to me, and I look forward to working with you on future projects. And lastly, Dr. Amir Mohareb, who is a colleague of Dr. Bloom at the Infectious Disease Department of the Massachusetts General Hospital. He was very instrumental in my thesis. He helped me, and currently he's helping me prepare my manuscript for publication. So I'll end by thanking POHER for giving me the opportunity to learn, to be inspired, and to make long-lasting friendships. I'm very grateful for the friendships that I've made, the collaborations with Anya, with Chany, Deborah, Miriam, Derrick, Mwenya, Zolo, Opeoluwa, and Natasha. And to all our viewers, I invite you to watch this space as this group of individuals are about to create something really, really big. Thank you all.
All right. That was really inspiring. And to note also, so everyone that's logged in on our webinar, I have not seen any single person drop out. So you guys have been really inspiring. And a few things that are striking about our POHER Scholars Program is, as you can see, there were so many friendships that were formed and our scholars were able to collaborate and make research outputs, win grants, get scholarships. And they also had wonderful networking experiences with people across the whole globe, which is really amazing. So we're almost coming to the end of this graduation. And our final scholar who is graduating is a recipient of the Rhodes Mandela Scholarship, which he got this year. And if you go online and Google his name, some of the key things you'll find about his work is that he's very passionate about global surgery and neurosurgery. You just cannot miss him in those fields. So our graduating student today, our final graduating student is Yvan Zolo. The floor is yours, and we're really excited to hear about your accomplishments.
Hello, thank you very much, Nancy. I don't know, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
Thank you so much. Let me try to share my screen. Is everybody seeing my screen?
Yes, almost.
Okay, great. So thank you very much for the intro. I'm super grateful to be here. I'm so happy to be here, and I really don't know how to go about it, but I just want to say this has been a great year. This has been an amazing opportunity. This has been a fantastic journey. And permit me to deviate a little bit from all what you have been saying and do some sort of advocacy for surgery, for global surgery, and for global health. So I'm going to be speaking about a bit of neurosurgery on how to help aspiring neurosurgeons on how to increase the involvement of aspiring neurosurgeons in global health. So you are going to adopt the following outline. You are going to briefly speak about career development in neurosurgery. Then you are going to see a little bit about the needs of aspiring neurosurgeons. And we shall speak on how we shall try to see how to, why is it important to invest in aspiring neurosurgeons and how to help aspiring neurosurgeons. Then you are going to briefly speak about me. So it's very important for us to speak about career development in neurosurgery. As we know, there is a great deficit in the number of neurosurgeons available in the world, and this deficit is a little bit more important in Africa and sub-Saharan Africa, to be specific. And it's very important, it's very critical for individuals to get involved into neurosurgery. It's very important for aspiring neurosurgeons to have some sort of career development in their field of interest. And this at the back of our mind, we came up, we wrote an article on that, which was published in the East and Central African Journal of Surgery, where we spoke about what are those steps or what are those things that people who are interested, or what are those things that aspiring neurosurgeons need to know to develop their career in neurosurgery. It was published, and among them, we spoke about the importance of mentorship. We spoke about the importance of getting some research opportunities. They spoke about the importance of being exposed to the community, to the neurosurgery community. So you can look at the article online and try to read more about it. We also published an article, this is more retrospectively, we published an article on the way we're trying to understand the motivation, the needs, and the challenges faced by aspiring neurosurgeons in Africa. And what we realized is that a lot of individuals, there are a lot of aspiring neurosurgeons out there in Africa, but most of these feel some sort of, they have some sort of classical challenges that they face, which are the first has to do with most of these aspiring neurosurgeons do not have the information on how to go about it, becoming neurosurgeons. Like you want to become a neurosurgeon, but they don't know how to go about it. Most of these aspiring neurosurgeons lack opportunities, lack specialization opportunities, lack postgraduate opportunities. Most of these aspiring neurosurgeons do not have the finances required or the finances needed for them to develop their career in neurosurgery. And most of these aspiring neurosurgeons, despite having a lot of interest in neurosurgery, because of all these challenges they face, most of them end up deviating from their course in neurosurgery. So we came up with the article. You can also go and read it and understand a little bit more about it, which means that there is a pool of aspiring neurosurgeons in Africa, but they don't have the resources. And why is it important to invest in this aspiring neurosurgeon? Why should the people listening to this graduation ceremony invest in developing or invest in aspiring neurosurgeon, invest in giving these aspiring neurosurgeon opportunities for them to continue their dream of becoming neurosurgeon? The first thing has to do with the fact that globally we have up to 5 billion people still lacking access to quality, safe and timely surgical care all over the world. And it is important to note that more than 90% of these deficits, or more than 90% of these cases or patients, they are found in low and middle income countries. And we know that Africa constitutes the greatest percentage of low and middle income countries. And still in Africa, we know that sub-Saharan Africa has the greatest proportion of this deficit. So this is why we need to invest into aspiring neurosurgeon. This is why we need to increase the number of neurosurgeons, because there is a burden of disease. There are patients that need this care. And the number of neurosurgeons, if you look at the maps, you realize that most of the neurosurgeons or most of the neurosurgical workforce is found in high-income countries, while the low and middle-income countries have the greatest need. So how do you understand that people that somehow they need, but they don't need as much as, they don't need much, that much neurosurgeon they have, the more, while the people that actually need it, they don't have. That is why it's important for us to invest in aspiring neurosurgeon. It's also important to note that aspiring neurosurgeons, they have this potential, they have this enthusiasm, they have these new ideas that they can actually invest and bring about the change that we want to see in the care provided to patients with neurosurgical conditions. And also, it's important for us to motivate these aspirants. By motivating them, we are going to help them to bring about the positive change that we want to see. So how can we help this aspiring neurosurgeon? How can we concretely help them? We had the opportunity to present this topic at the Harvard Medical School program of Global Search and Social Change, I think it was in March, where we tried to bring... I'm not getting you.
Direct message, see.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so we did this presentation and we tried bringing out how people can, or how can this aspiring neurosurgeon be helped. And we found out that, or we spoke about the fact that there's a necessity to provide some sort of boot camps where we are going to educate, we are going to provide the aspiring neurosurgeons with the technical know-how, with the knowledge on neurosurgery that is required for their career development. We also suggested the fact that it's important for this aspiring neurosurgeon to have grant opportunity, to have scholarship opportunities, because we have people that are really passionate but who do not have the finances to go about specializing in neurosurgery. So it's important for individuals, it's important for organizations to help this aspiring neurosurgeon by providing them with the funds required for their career development. It's also important to equip these aspiring neurosurgeons with the research and mentorship opportunities. And any organization should that wants to see about a change in the care provided to a neurosurgical patient is somehow required to bring about this contribution. So let us try to speak a little bit about me. So by God's grace, I had the amazing opportunity or the grace to graduate as to defend and to graduate as a medical doctor this year. And I'm super grateful to all my friends, to all my family members, and the multiple organizations that helped me to attain this objective. I also had the opportunity or the grace to receive some sort of admission from the University of Cape Town program in global surgery, where I'm a global surgery fellow. And I had the amazing and life-changing opportunity to become a Mandela Rhodes Foundation scholar, which I will say has changed my life and is going to change my life, and I'm sure the life of a lot of people, because I believe with the work I'm going to do, we are going to see some an amazing impact in the Africa, in the global surgery, in global neurosurgery in Africa. Basically, I'm going to be doing a master's in science, Master of Science in Global Surgery at the University of Cape Town under the leadership of Professor Salome Maswini, and I'll be working, my work will be basically on the neurosurgical workforce in Africa, how to increase neurosurgical workforce in Africa, how to bring about more neurosurgeons in Africa. I'll also be minoring in a master's in public health at the same time. I've had the opportunity to also work to serve as a junior and as a member of the World Federation of Neurosurgical Society Global Neurosurgery Junior Committee, where I serve at the Secretariat and Advocacy team. I also had the great opportunity to present, to be a finalist of the Bay Area Global Health Innovation Challenge, where I was proposing, the startup which I co-founded was proposing a low-cost solution on how to ameliorate the access to quality surgical care. I also had the opportunity to be the member of the international team of the International Surgical Student Network Institution, International Student Surgical Network Institution, and I'm mainly under the research sub team. I also recently had an interview with the Aspen Institute New Voices Fellowship, and I'm currently waiting for the results. So thank you very much for listening to me. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the people that actually invested in me in various ways, because I always like to say that I am because we are. There is no way I can be, there's no way I can do whatever I'm doing, there's no way I can think of doing whatever I'm doing without people behind me. And I would really like to thank the Association of Future African Neurosurgeons, which has been instrumental for my development, and POHER, which has actually helped me a lot. And special thanks to Dr. Akpi, who has been a mother, who has been more than a friend, and who is a mentor. It's true, I'm more of neurosurgery oriented, but she was always there to give me ideas on how to go about the various difficulties I encountered throughout this year. I cannot finish my presentation without speaking about this revolution that is currently going on. So there is this guy, this Nigerian, who is an aspiring neurosurgeon to medical student to be Chidebere Ibe, always like to call him a very illustrated. He is providing us with medical illustration in Afro skin. Like you can see on this slides, here is a slide presented with Afro skin. Like I know all of us who did medicine, I can bet nobody ever saw a presentation in medical illustration in Afro skin, and Ebere is providing us with this revolution. So please, I would like us to, all those listening to this presentation, to go on social media to look for this guy, to follow him, and to please contribute in funding his education to Kiev. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and thank you.
All right, so congratulations, Yvan. So we're almost coming to the end of our graduation, and one of our scholars will just finish up his presentation. He had some technical difficulties. Chany, are you ready to finish off your presentation?
Yes, Dr. Kosongo. Dr. Akpi, you can share with me my slide, please.
Okay. All right.
Can you see your slides?
Yes.
Okay, all right, put in. Let me do it again, it's skipped. Just give me a second. I'll share them again. All right. Okay, can you see them? I'll put it in slideshow mode in a second. All right. Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Kasongo, for giving me another opportunity. And again, to everyone, I'm sorry I had a technical hiccup on my first attempt to present my work. So here's about me. I'm Chany Wicgoal. I'm a 2021 POHER scholar from South Sudan. I'm one of the final year mid student at Master University, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I'm also a co-founder and a chief operating officer for TEDI Africa, and I'm a founding member of Genovine Health. A little bit about TEDI Africa. TEDI Africa is a registered social enterprise operating and based in South Sudan and Kenya, respectively. We intervene in women and youth entrepreneurial growth, entrepreneurial developments. And if you want to know more about TEDI Africa, you can visit us on our website at tediafrica.org. I'm also the president for South Sudan Student Association in Malaysian University. And I'm also founding members of African Society at MASA. All right, so this slide focuses on my experience over the years as a POHER scholar. So I've attended a short course and conference and also various workshops during my time as scholars with my fellow scholars as they went through some of this experience we had together. So I attended the Virtual Academic Surgery Conference, attended workshop on grant writing. This was really very insightful. And also we had an opportunity to have one of the workshops for how to navigate postgraduate studies. And so interestingly for me, one of the most notable experience was the introduction to global health, like many of my colleagues mentioned. And I moderated two activities during my turn as a scholar. Moderated African Medical School Trivia Competition, preliminary rounds featuring Zambia, Cameroon, and Nigeria. And also moderated the POHER education series on men's health, which was mainly on erectile dysfunction and prostate cancer. As I mentioned earlier, on my men's school published, I wasn't able to publish any of my work or presents during my year as a scholar, but it is a work in the progress. I'm working closely with my primary mentor, Dr. Neil Tulams, to present some of my work in the near future. And I believe I'll have the platform here at POHER, as I'll remain as actively alumnus to present my work. Here again, these are some of the activities I moderated. Next one. So overall, here's my personal experience during the mentorship. So like I mentioned earlier, I've attended webinars, participated in various professional development programs. And I also established a clear career plan and pathway, so which has opened my eyes wider to help myself more accountable to reaching my career goal as I work with my mentors, Dr. Neil. And being a scholar this year that helped me strengthen my team work and also help me in communicating skill and also professional networking. Overall, being a POHER scholar this year has been a great experience and it helps me consolidate my career choice, goal, and aspiration. All right, so what's next for me? Relating to activity with POHER, I'm going to remain an engagedly active alumnus with the Pan-African Organization for Health Education and Research. And the next big thing on my career path is my medical internship, as I will be graduating med school next year. So I'm studying in Malaysia, as I mentioned earlier. Malaysia does not have pathway for foreign medical intern. So I'm definitely looking to other pathway to going back home or any other alternative opportunity I can map out with my mentors. So this is the next big step for me. And I will be working hand in hand with my mentor here at POHER to map out such opportunity for me. So this is all about my presentation. I would like to again to acknowledge and thank my primary mentor, Dr. Nial, and all of you at POHER. Dr. Asambeng, you've been our mothers and friends, so we couldn't be much more grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much. And again, I'm really sorry for the technical hiccup that happened. And thank again for giving me the ground. Really appreciate it. Thanks.
All right. Congratulations, Chany, and congratulations to all the POHER scholars that are graduating today. You guys have done really excellent work. So we've come to the end of this graduation ceremony, and we're very thankful to all the mentors who work with our scholars from different time zones and all their work commitments. So over to you, Dr. Akwi.
Thank you. So I'll just say once again, just my last few words and then hand over to Dr. Mazimba, who, closes. So I am just, I'm beyond grateful for our supporters, our donors, the likes, tags, shares, and follows. And I want to emphasize this. You guys have seen the amazing work our scholars are doing. So if you could each just take a moment and just, visit their pages, see what their social activities are, and see how you can support them by simply liking, tagging, or sharing the message that they have. You can definitely make an impact in someone else's life. And I also want to take the time again to thank you for your time and the space that you've provided us for us to share this information with you. Our upcoming plans, we're hoping to open up the program for the 2022 scholars in December 15th. And Dr. Nancy Kasongo is one of our co-leads, co-chairs of that program. We'll try to probably have a webinar of sorts to explain what our plans are, to explain, how many numbers we would be taking. We are open to the entire continent. Like we said, our goal is to shine the light on you, because we know you guys can and will do amazing things. We're super, super grateful for you sharing this message with us. And I think just sort of tagging along to what Yvonne had shared about Chidi Abere, I've seen his work online and it is simply amazing. He is not a medical student. He wants to go to medical school. So I think if you know him, if you see him, just the few slides that Chidi Abere had shown are a representation of us. If you look at the medical school textbooks, you won't find what Chidi Abere has done. So if you don't know him, Google him, look him up on social media, tag, like, share his work. So his brilliance can also be acknowledged and seen by the wider population. I will now stop and hand things over to Dr. Mazimba. Thank you to everyone and to all the scholars. We're on WhatsApp together. Just because you're graduating today doesn't mean, you'll drop off the WhatsApp or we're gonna kick you off or anything of that sort. Our vision is that this is sort of a lifelong vision. I still have my same mentor from 20 plus years ago who I text every now and then or, just call and stuff. So what we're hoping is that we as POHER have created a family for you. Moments when you're feeling down, it doesn't always have to be research, doesn't have to be med school, just random. If you want to send a silly message, feel free to do that. You have the support from us as an organization, POHER for life, as they would say. So, this is not the end. This is part of the journey. And so we are here with you. Thank you, everyone. Dr. Mazimba, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Asubang. I've been amazed to see and hear the exceptional presentations by the 2021 POHER scholars. And one thing, one thing that's clearly stands out from listening to all these fantastic presentations is that the future of Africa is bright. It is in the hands of young people like you And if POHER can bring together these energetic, brilliant minds, African young minds across the imaginary borders, then we would have done something in accelerating the development across the vast continent of Africa, which we call our homeland. I would like to just give you two quotations that I really like. One is by Frederick Buchner, and he says that the place God calls you to is the place where your deep gladness and passion and the world's hunger meet. The place God calls you is the place where your deep gladness or passion and the world's deep hunger meet. And the other one is by Ellen Gould White, which is one of my favorite quotations. It says, the greatest want of the world is the want of men and women who will not be bought or sold, men and women who in their innermost souls are true and honest, who do not fear to call wrong by its right name, men and women whose conscience is as true to duty as the needle to the pole, and men and women who will stand for the right, though the heavens fall. The world, and Africa in particular, is in need of individuals like what we are seeing today with POHER scholars, who will meet the needs in healthcare, science and technology, social justice, just to name but a few. As POHER scholars and now alumni, you came, you saw, and you conquered. You have acquired and learned some skills that you can use not only to advance your careers and aspirations, but importantly to meet Africa's deepest hunger. And so I congratulate, on behalf of POHER, I would like to congratulate you for the great work that you've done. And so go into the world and represent POHER in this quest and continue to do a fantastic job. It would be amiss not to give special tribute to Dr. Asobang Akwi, my friend and colleague, for the tireless efforts in leading the organization and the personal sacrifices that you have made and the dedication you continue to inspire in all of us. I would like everyone to just unmute the mic and just to give a round of applause to Dr. Asobang. Thank you, Akwi. Thank you. And also, I would also just to reiterate the great appreciation to the board members, the donors, the well-wishers, and the scholars, and everyone who's been working behind the scenes. Thank you so much. And thank you, and have a wonderful and prosperous 2022. May God bless you all.
Thank you, Dr. Mazimba. Have a great day, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And we will watch our social media pages, and we will give you updates as to the next steps. Thank you all. Congratulations to our scholars. Take care, everyone.